Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I have returned with a Thunderbolt 1000 Siren production videos. This time we're going to look at Secaucus train collision 23 years later. I probably pronounced it wrong. Maybe I pronounced it right. We're going to figure out when he pronounces it in this video. Can we get at least one like on this video? That can really help me a lot. So without further ado, here we go! A documentary about train collision.
When it comes to trains, signals are an important safety tool. Green means clear to proceed, yellow means reduce speed and possibly stop at the next red signal, and red, of course, means stop altogether. Naturally, when a red signal is run, there's grave consequences, and are usually caused by one engineer missing a signal for any given reason. But in the case of Secaucus Junction, it was an accident unlike any other. On February 9th, 1996, train 1254 had departed Waldwick at 8:03 a.m., about 5 minutes later than the 7:58 a.m. scheduled time. The train's destination was Hoboken Terminal, with an arrival expected at 8:44 a.m. The engineer was John J. DeCurtis, with conductor Stephen Miller,
JJD,
as well as an unnamed assistant conductor. 1254 consisted of Comet 2 cab car 5146
you can clarify was one person, but you can't clarify was the other person that was on duty. At 96?
4110.
You think by 96 they would have gotten this together to recognize other people.
275 passengers.
I don't know, I wasn't born in 96.
In the opposite direction was train 1107, headed to Suffern, and had departed Hoboken Terminal at 8:31 a.m., 1 minute late.
See what you can get done before 9 o'clock in the morning.
Alfonso Debonis, as well as an unnamed conductor and assistant conductor. 1107 consisted of GP40PH-2A,
a boy!
48 in the lead.
He's going to jail.
5 1 coaches and 1 Comet 1 cab car, 5120 at the rear.
That's the weirdest thing so far in this video.
The train had 125 passengers aboard, as well as 2 deadheading NJT employees who were traveling to Suffern so they could operate another train that originated there.
What does it mean, deadheading?
Were in push-pull configuration, which basically means a train can be operated at either end when there's 2 engines or not.
Is one engine not enough for a train?
At one end and a cab car at the other.
I don't know how trains work. These are serious questions!
1107 had been shown a clear signal and was approaching Bergen Junction at 53 miles an hour, while the track speed for that section was 70 miles an hour. Train 1254 had left Harmon Cove Station at 8:33 a.m.
I think these dudes just hanging out.
Passed a medium approach signal.
I love this guy. I ain't worried about his color.
According to the black box data, the train passed this signal at 34 miles an hour. The next signal would show the engineer a stop indication at Bergen Junction.
I felt like I was back in elementary. It was the way that art was. I mean,
before 1254 could be allowed to continue into Hoboken.
We all remember 449.
1254 continued to slow down until approximately 71 feet before the stop signal, where the engineer instead accelerated the train to 20 miles an hour past the red signal.
Pick up the pace, why don't you? Faster, 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 faster. Come on, you can move faster than that. Come on!
Emergency braking after the engineer realized this mistake, but it was too little, too late.
Everybody okay?
The 2 trains collide at 8:40 a.m. Train 1254 was moving at approximately 18 miles an hour when the collision occurred. The conductor of train 1254 was able to evacuate all passengers of the train with the help of the assistant conductor. The conductor aboard 1107 was reported to be visually upset, repeatedly crying that people were dead, which also worried many passengers. The 2 deadhead NJ Transit employees helped evacuate the train as well. After the evacuation, the remaining crew members stood watch to flag down any oncoming trains, Both crews aboard both trains did not use the PA system to communicate with passengers. They instead went from car to car yelling for passengers to evacuate the train. The assistant conductor aboard train 1254 later reported that he did not know if the public address system was working or not, so he didn't use it. The conductor aboard train 1107 said the same thing. He didn't know if it worked or not. Throughout the evacuation process, both trains communicated by handheld radios. The accident was first reported by an engineer of an eastbound New Jersey Transit train on the main line at 8:45 a.m., 5 minutes after the impact. The New Jersey Transit Police Department was notified at 8:40 a.m. and arrived at the accident site 13 minutes later. Other emergency services arrived within about 10 to 20 minutes after the first 911 calls were made. Cab car 5146 was ripped open in the collision, killing the engineer John J. DeCurtis and Arthur David Stern, a passenger aboard train 1254
We lost
and the only
JJD.
passenger casualty. Locomotive 4148's roof collapsed in on the cab on impact, thereby killing engineer Alfonso Debonis instantly. In addition, 162 passengers were injured. The NTSB determined that the probable cause was the failure of train 1254's engineer to perceive correctly a red signal aspect because of his diabetic eye disease and resulting color blindness, which he failed to report to New Jersey Transit during annual medical examinations. Contributing to the accident was the contract physician's use of an eye examination not intended to measure color discrimination. Because of his color blindness, he couldn't see the red light on the signal and must have thought it was green, which explains why he sped his train up past the signal moments before collision. NJT was recommended to revise their employee emergency response training courses to include simulation drills and develop a refresher training program to reinforce employee skills in emergency procedures. Also, in all emergency training, it should be mandatory that employees use the PA system as a means to communicate with passengers, whether they think it works or not. NJT also had to inform their employees, especially those in safety-critical positions such as engineer, of the facts and circumstances of the accident, stressing that they must accurately report their use of medications or any changes in their medical condition, especially color blindness, that could make them miss a red signal, which ultimately led to this disaster. In the end, GP40PH-2A4148 and cab car 5146 were scrapped after the accident, while GP40PH-24110 continues to operate to this day. Cab car 5120 was retired by New Jersey Transit and is now held by the United Railroad Historical Society of New Jersey. 23 years had passed since the incident, and it's fair to say colorblind engineers are no longer a thing anymore.
They should have been to begin with. Oh, sheesh. That was a rough one. Well, you guys want me to keep going with this channel's videos? Let me know in the comment section. Alright?